see if we can at least go to YouTube.
Yeah, I just got a message that it's been streamlined.
Okay. All right. So meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. We got that. See, Sister Umrani has joined us. So this is MAP5, September 1, 2025. Assalamu alaikum, that is the peace that only comes from the Creator. To all of our viewers and participants in this program. Fleming, do you want to open us up?
Well, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum to everyone on this first day of September 2025. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Amen. The translation according to Yusuf Ali's translation. With the name of Allah, merciful Redeemer, merciful benefactor, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord and cherisher of all the worlds. Merciful Redeemer, merciful benefactor, master of all the systems of knowledge. Thee do we worship and thine aid we seek. Show us the straight way. The will of those upon whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, not those who go astray, nor those who incur thy wrath. Amen. Right.
Okay. MAP 5, Muslim American Power 5. So, Sister Cheryl, are we breaking the ice today?
Overweight figure skater.
Okay.
I hope you didn't hurt yourself. I hope my sister did not hurt herself.
Well, I'm not overweight. I'm just talking about the figure skater.
All right. Oh, I know. Okay, I got you now.
I said we're gonna break the ice. Yes. Feliz Día de los Trabajadores. Feliz Labor Day. Day of the Worker.
Yes.
And well, I look at labor a little different. Sister, as a mother, we've labored since actually bringing life into the world. We had to go through labor.
That's for sure.
So yeah, so I'm not gonna apologize, but sorry, not sorry. This is not just about work. This is about not just the job that pays your mortgage, but the work we do in community, the work we do in family, is all labor. So, my question to you today, besides, well, we can do a political roundup in a minute because I really want to talk about what's been happening. My question to you today is, in the words of Marvin Gaye, what's going on? What's going on? So you can see where I'm going. What's your song for what's going on? What's your song? Pick one. Any era. What's going on? It's as true today as it was back whenever that was done. Before my time, but I figure Marvin Gaye is everybody's time. So
I better jump out there before Fleming gets my song. I
Okay.
can't do anything. But I'll say, Sam Cooke, a change is going to come.
Ah, Sam.
All right.
A good one.
Mm,
Brother, you on the
Boy, oh
clock.
boy.
You're on the
War.
clock.
What is it good for?
Well, okay.
What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it
Nothing.
again now.
Ah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Brother Ishmael, welcome to the show, sir. And sister, that's Imrani, right? Yeah. Go ahead, brother. Take yourself off mute. Tell us your song.
I don't. I'm just gonna say assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome. I mean, I'm glad I could be here.
Absolutely.
And I think my song would be, even though it might be the opposite of really what's going on, the revolution would not be televised.
Okay, Jill Scott Aaron.
The last
I
poets.
love
All
it.
right.
Yeah, Jill Scott. Guess what? Some of us are over here preparing for the revolution. Shh. Don't tell nobody. Sister, and it's Sister Imrani, isn't it? Sister Amatullah.
Amatullah Alaji-Sabrie is there. You want to unmute yourself?
Assalamu alaikum.
Well, they come
I'm not ready for the
for
song.
the icebreaker.
Yeah.
All right, you think about it, then come and let me know.
Okay, then. Yeah, I like
keeping.
I like a lot of the message songs. I like things from the impressions back in the day, and so I was just
So
I don't have one right now.
Okay, well, pull one out. Just
all right.
You can come back in and give it to us.
All right.
I'm keeping notes.
Well, put Curtis Mayfield on there too, because he had a lot of songs that I used to try to imitate back in the day.
A lot of songs.
I'm sorry. The only one I know from him is the Shaft theme. What others?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! You're telling your youth now.
Deceives her. Wow.
Oh man.
Wow! Come on now.
Oh man. He was our civil rights
song. I might know it. You might know the song.
The Shaft song, I believe, is Isaac Hayes, not Curtis Mayfield.
See, there you go.
Yeah. Curtis was the Superfly one, but long before the Superfly. Long before that though, he was very popular. One was What Color Him Father. He had oh my God, he had a whole series of songs that go along with our civil rights movement.
Right.
We're a Winner. We're a Winner is really a very popular one. We're a winner. Well, I won't go into the song element of it, but he talked about our struggles, being a winner regardless of the circumstances. But the one about the father figure, really, he said, what color him father because of what all you went through as a father. And this person done so much for his family. And then he said another one about color him love.
Yeah.
And the elements of love that were very, very popular at that point, I think color him love.
So what was the other one? Color him love, color him father?
Yes. And then We're a Winner. We're a Winner. Well, I won't go into the lyrics. I can't sing. I can speak to a song though. I can I can speak the lyrics.
Oh, so you mean to tell me that Missy Elliott didn't do Superfly first? I'm just playing. I know Superfly. But Missy Elliott's Superfly was Super Duper Fly. Just the same.
Right. But he was with a group called The Impressions. So look some of their songs up. Very powerful songs.
Yeah,
Ishmael. Don't know it, but I'll look it up.
The Impressions, okay. Go to University Google and look him up.
I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down. Isaac Hayes. Yeah. See, I remember that song. Shaft. Theme from Shaft. They played it in the remake with Sam Jackson. Now we got Brother Sharif on. Brother Sharif. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, walaikum assalam, everyone. I just got on a couple of minutes ago.
Yes.
Talking about the music world.
Yeah, so what the question of the day is taking off on the theme from Marvin Gaye with what's going on. That's how you have to say it. You can't say what's going on. You have to say what's going on. And you have to give us your song. Right now, let me tell you what we have. We have Sam Cooke, Change is Gonna Come. We have what is it good for? The revolution will not be televised. Super duper fly. I changed the name. We are winners. Is that right?
Yes, winners. Yes.
We are winners, and then some other ones by Mr. Curtis Mayfield and the group The Impressions. And then I just slipped in the theme from Shab because it sound good. What you got for us, Brother Sharif?
Wow, y'all covered quite a bit of the stars. I mean, especially when Marvin Gaye, with what's going on. I mean, that was a classic. And while he was singing that song, they were showing the different areas with Detroit and California, all these places. And it was so timely. What's going on? Because a whole lot of stuff was going on, man. I mean, Marvin Gaye, he really hit it. Then there was Isaac Hayes, Walk On By. Wow. Oh man, Isaac Hayes, yes. Yeah, we had some real winners in the music world.
Yes.
Wait, did somebody else sing Walk On By too? I'm thinking it was a woman's voice.
Dionne Warwick also sang
made it popular.
Dionne Warwick, yeah.
That's it.
Right.
See,
Right.
see, I knew.
Yeah, I saw both of them, Isaac Hayes and Dionne Warwick. It was in L.A. at the Continental, I think the Continental International Hotel. Across from there is like a theater in the round, and really, I just went there because I was in town on business and there was nothing else to do. So I said, okay, let me go see them. That was, I think, one of the best shows I've ever seen. I really have learned to appreciate Isaac Hayes as a musician and the charisma and the energy between the two of them on stage. It was a really surprisingly a fantastic show for that time. So he is a very accomplished producer and writer. If you look at his catalog, he did a lot of good things.
Yes. And Stax Museum in Tennessee has a nice display of his early life, and the music contributions he made. They even have his car on exhibit. It's really something to walk through to see, There's one I've got to add to the mix too. She was my sentimental person I thought I would fall in love with and marry. That was Diana Ross, Stop in the Name of Love. I learned how to swing dance on that song. And I just knew I was going to marry her one day.
Oh, really?
Didn't quite work out that way, though.
They did not listen to the song here, this brother. You living dangerously on Labor Day.
Yes.
Dangerously. Well, I want to give you a few more before I turn this over. But so I do remember, and I like this song because I'm an environmental scientist, so I love Mercy, Mercy Me.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Oh, boy.
Marvin Gaye. And he called it the ecology song. He called it the ecology song. And it's still just as relevant today as it was. I don't know what year it was made, but early 70s maybe. I just know that. But and even Michael Jackson had an Earth song. I think it was called the Earth Song in the 90s. Which, just considering what's happening in the world and the earth and environmentally, that's the big thing. His birthday is the same day as my mom, August 29th. Happy birthday, mama. The other ones I was going to say. So now, Ishmael, I'm gonna bring it back to the generation I know best. I really liked Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
Where is the love? Yeah, where's the love? That was a remake, I know, right?
That was a remake.
That's a remix.
Yes.
I know, but
Yeah.
who was the original?
Was it Marvin Gaye and Tammy?
Tammy Terrell? It may be. I'm gonna look it up. I think so. I think you're right. And then the other one is I really like Childish Gambino. And he said, "This is America." You might remember the video.
Yeah, very powerful video. Yes, I remember it.
He had a very powerful video. It's about gun violence, police brutality, and like what's our overall state of race relations in the US. The video was pretty shocking, but it caught your attention, right? And it was good. And that was This is America, but and he also, he's got a few of them that are really that will really catch you and pretty much capture what's going on. Like right now, that there's one about summer that he had, feels like summer, and that's about the climate crisis, climate change, climate crisis. So these are my picks, and these where I wanted to start us today, because I want to. Oh no, I know. There's one that I used to hear when I worked at Sony. We were working on their contract, and I used to hear it, and I didn't know. And my mom was like, "What do you mean? It's one of the classics." It was John Lennon. Imagine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I used to love that song when I was young. And I didn't know how old the song was at first, but it is it's one of his best-selling songs, and he's just talking about what if we, the utopian vision of a peaceful world and people not chasing money and, basically the work we do. So I wanted to leave that one last. So my second question for you before we move on is...
Cheryl.
Yes.
Y'all remember this one?
Are you playing?
We can't hear
something? We
Yeah,
can't hear it.
it's not coming through. Brother
Not coming?
No, sir.
Can you hear it now?
No.
You got to sing it for us.
Yeah, sing it for us.
Sing it for us. Sing it for us.
Uber and buy a suitcase. Try to fly one place. Spend the night.
All right, all
Is that
right.
Brooke Benton?
Yes. I know
Is
that
that
one very
Brooke
well.
Benton?
Heavy rain falling.
Oh.
Seems I hear your voice calling. It's all right.
It's a rainy night in Georgia. Hey.
What is the name of it?
A rainy
It's a
night in Georgia.
Oh, yes.
rainy
Is
night in
that
Georgia.
Ray Charles?
Is that Ray
No,
Charles?
that's Brooke
A
Benton.
rainy night in Georgia.
See, Ishmael, you and I say the same thing.
I'm thinking right.
Oh boy.
That's Georgia on my mind. I guess Ray Charles. Did Ray Charles say that one?
I think he
No,
did.
Yeah, I mean, he may have had it on one of his albums.
Okay, I'm gonna look up that one. Perfect. So, Brother Sharif, since you're the last one to talk, here's my second question to you guys before we move on. Is on the theme of that John Lennon song, Imagine. Now, I don't need a khutbah. I don't want nobody to give me a whole lecture. I just want to know, what do you imagine for us, for our community, our ummah? What do you imagine?
Well, I would say what I imagined on that one. We were, my second wife, we were on 72nd Street in Manhattan at that time, having dinner. And we came outside man, and all these people was on the street. And we started walking and asked what's happening. Said John Lennon has just been shot.
Hmm.
Mm.
That's my recollection of exactly what happened when he was killed that night.
Mm.
And you were near where he was killed.
Yeah, right. We was right on the same block.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's on the same block. We having lunch. Having dinner. The hotel was called the Dakota, a big building.
Right.
You know, most celebrities live there. We came out and all these people outside saying John Lennon has just been shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's my recollection. Thank y'all. Take my comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Mm.
So I'm gonna go back and forth between the audience and us. So Brother Fleming, what would you imagine for us, sir?
Mm. I guess in a sense it's a type of utopia, but I imagine the human value of every human being being lifted up and honored with nobility and value uh, around the world internationally. So we don't have such barbaric treatment of human beings and such disregard for the humanness. That would be a vision I would love to see materialize, and that we pull away from the color scheme of Satan about human beings. Now I'll stop there. I won't try to give you a straight answer.
Thank you. I like that. Uh, Brother Ishmael, what do you think? What's your imagine?
Inshallah, this is more. I'm hoping this is the more realistic
You're kind of breaking up, Brother Ishmael.
things. It's behind closed doors.
Say that last part again. Something about moral things behind closed doors.
Right? Can y'all hear me any better? Or still bad?
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
better.
That's much better.
No, I was saying, hopefully, we can get back to at least the point where if we are doing immoral things, it's behind closed doors and not just in the public, like it's okay. I think that's one step toward that. To me, that'll be almost a utopia, where you know, where you used to do things, you had to go to some secret club and they kept everything, closed. But to the public, it wasn't an influence that was okay. You would have to go out searching for those kind of things. So that's what I
Yes,
would say.
I like it. Thank you. Sister Amrani, what say you?
Yes, and the question at first, I thought you said our Ummah, so I was focusing on the on our Muslim community, but it seemed like the answers are about the community as a whole. Was that the question?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
Either one.
either one.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess for the imagine for our Ummah, the community of Imam Muhammad would be for us to study, examine the things that he has laid out for us, more of the practical things. And I know he always said that we as women focus more on the practical things, but I want us to continue to see how to make things work. Okay, not just the theory. That to me would be beautiful, as we would take those theories and the teachings, and each one we say, well, okay, how can we make this as practical as possible? So to me, that would be like a utopia to me in the community, when we're actually seeing how to apply those things more.
I like it. Thank you. Sister Amatullah.
Okay, I would say two things there is a connection. I would say, if we're looking at the global Ummah, meaning the global Muslim family, I would say the elimination of poverty and war. because I think that the drive of greed that exists in this world society has, just driven us to what the Bible has labeled as the hallmark of these days of wars and rumors of wars. But if we could eliminate poverty and wars, that so much would be better in this world.
I like it. I would just say what Nelson Mandela said, that poverty is created by man and it can be alleviated by man.
For sure.
Mine is actually pretty simple, and it's for the global Ummah, Muslims and non-Muslims. It's the elimination of certain weapons, especially around schools, places of worship, and hospitals. Because what happened again last week is just unacceptable. It's heartbreaking to know that young children, their first week of school, and at a religious institution on top of that, can be gunned down in their school. That one gets me because, not just as a parent, but it just seems patently unfair. They can't protect themselves. So, when adults get into their fighting wars, that's an adult thing. But that 6-year-old and that 8-year-old who were killed last week, they weren't Republican or Democrat or independent. They weren't, spewing hate or anything else. They were just going to school. So for me, it's very similar to what Ishmael said, that there used to be some rules about this, right? If you're gonna do something, they try to stay in the dark, but now everything's out front. But there also used to be rules about killing people. You didn't beat up old people. You didn't. And I'm not saying beating up anybody is right or killing anybody is right, but there were some rules. You didn't kill children. You didn't kill old people. You didn't rape or abuse elderly. You didn't rape or abuse small children. And if it happened, and it had to be discovered. Not this. Every month we're facing this. So I wanted to say that. And I'm glad I have all of these. I took notes from everyone, because I think it will help us shape our discussions on policy over the next few months as we get ready to go into election season, and keeping foremost on our minds that you can't legislate morality, but you can mandate policy that prevents certain actions. With that, over to you, sir.
Well, even before we get started, thank you so much. I want to suggest that we do something that I've suggested for the whole weekend. I've been in 4 different group settings, and we always started off with a moment of silence for those children who are in a posture of prayer, and someone walks up with 3 different firearms and shoots 120 rounds inside of a church setting while they're in the prayer posture. It's almost unimaginable that someone have that mindset. But if we don't mind, those of us that have the prayer tendency, please let's have a moment of prayer for those children, their parents, and those that are injured from that catastrophe against innocent souls, if you don't mind. Thank you very much. Awesome. Okay, so our theme for today, inshallah, is solutions and strategies for maximizing political influence. Solutions and strategies for maximizing political influence. And we've invited Imam Wahid out of the Charlotte, North Carolina area, not Charlotte, pardon me, Durham, Raleigh area. He works at Duke University as a chaplain, and he's organized a fantastic program at the end of this month in the that area of North Carolina. It's a very structured interfaith, almost ceremony, an extension of celebrating Imam Warthy Muhammad's 50th anniversary of leadership for us. And I hope he comes on a little later on in the program. If he's not already on, his area code is 919. So if he comes on, please let me know, and I'll let him make his announcements and have a discussion of the program coming up.
Okay.
But at the top of the program, I wanted to mention two other activities I was involved in this week. One was entitled the inaugural gala dinner and program sponsored by the Nigerian, got to get a look closer, my eyes aren't as good as they used to be, the Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas. It was entitled Faith Meets Medicine. And it was designed to bring children in to realize the importance of having medicine in their lives along with their faith traditions. Two people that I'm familiar with in the area sort of co-sponsored the whole event, and they asked me to sort of help them invite some people who would be influencers in the area to participate. So the mayor came out, some of the elected officials came out to sort of cut the ribbon, and a lot of youth were involved. It was a one-day affair, all day Saturday from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. And they asked me to conduct one of the youth council sessions. And as always, when I talk to youth, I always start off with what is your name and try to identify them individually for their worth just as a human being. And then we talk about the impact of drugs in their lives and how drugs try to take away their name and identity if you allow yourself to be influenced by that, whether friend or foe. And then you have some positions to talk about the technical aspects of drugs in their lives, etc. But it was very well attended. And I had no idea before this that we had so many Nigerians in the area. I was familiar with the Liberian Association because I worked with them. But there's a large Nigerian population in the Triad area, meaning Winston-Salem, High Point, and Greensboro. And they have chapters from the same medical association group. And they've invited me to come over to Greensboro for another event. But it's called, just for the sake of our audience, the Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas. Very interesting group. About 50% of them were sisters, which is very, very impressive, medical doctors. And so we had a little exchange about my familiarity with Lagos and some of my friends that I met in graduate school. One was called Christine. We were in graduate school together, fixed my very first Nigerian meal. And we'll stop right there. But that was years ago.
You are treading on some dangerous territory.
The plantain was good, though. Absolutely delicious. Me and Cassandra both invited to the house. We had a good time. We stayed in touch for a long time, even after I left Arizona. We were both in graduate school back in 1977. We had a wonderful experience with that group, and they saw the need to give me this little plaque for lifelong, participation in their group to try to make them more known in the Winston-Salem area, which I greatly appreciated. And on another note, by the grace of Allah, I was nominated to be the Muslim Man of the Year by Mosque Cares over the weekend. They had the 36th annual convention. Very well, organized, well attended for a virtual program like that. But I was honored to be recognized and given this huge plaque by the Mosque Cares 36th annual convention. And it really surprised me, to be perfectly honest, because I was not campaigning or anything like that at all. Believe me, not at all. And so when I got the indication they had voted me in for that, I said, well, alhamdulillah. Does that mean I'm getting older, or what's happening with this situation here? But I was grateful to Allah for the recognition, and I was glad to be able to participate in it. They had some wonderful presenters, and we did a workshop entitled Thriving in 25 and Beyond, Know Your Constitution. Me and the councilman from Atlantic City, New Jersey, Councilman Kaleem Shabazz. So we shared the presentation. And it was very well received, had Q&A at the end of the program. And we talk also about what are some of the solutions and strategies that we can employ to make a difference in the political environment that we're in today. What can we do? And by we, I mean those with like-minded people, as well as our own mind. What can we do specifically in terms of strategies? What can we do in terms of offering solutions to our current situation in the political arena? And we gave several examples in that regard. The first bottom line was keep your faith posture always. No matter what you do, maintain your faith posture, because that will preserve your sanity, especially in the political world today. Because if you don't have a strong faith posture, it's very easy for the winds to blow and push you in one direction or the other. And I shared with them that, I was blessed to be in North Africa at Mauritania for the North African Peace Conference. And they were basically talking about one thing: eliminating extremism and faith to solve political problems. That was the whole purpose of the 3-day conference we had over there. And it is an issue across the board. And at that conference, it was a 5th annual peace conference. They had about 70 different nations there talking about the same issue in different, workshops, etc. But the question was, how do we reduce extremism in our interpretation of scripture to solve political problems? What must be done? And it starts off with basically agreeing to sit down and talk to each other in a reasonable fashion, and on a mutual, sure as we understand it today, to try to get some mutual agreement resolved on a number of issues that were discussed at that situation. And then our brother from Atlantic City shared his experience that you really have to build stronger coalitions. The example he used was that in Atlantic City today, they recognize 4 corners that they've named after Imam Wafiduddin Muhammad to honor him. And they're going to build some things in that block. There's 2 blocks, in fact, in the city, but he couldn't do that without establishing working relationships among the city council. He also serves as vice chair of the city council in the area, and he's also president of the local chapter of the NAACP in the area. And we both have a familiarity with that group. I'm a lifetime member of the NAACP, so I worked with them for a long time. And so they were just examples, small examples of how we got to build relationships outside of our sort of normal arena of influence to build those positive relationships with like-minded people, especially today. And I'll give you another example of what happened this morning before I came back home. We had a Palestinian component, we had a public school component, we have the labor component. There were like 4 different groups that were part of the march this morning on Labor Day Solidarity. And we all sort of agree we got a common enemy. It's called those with very wealthy money called billionaires, greedy billionaires taking all the money from those of us who don't have billions of dollars and using it for their own benefit. And it went beyond that into policy discussions, et cetera, the impact on public education, the impact on Medicaid, went down the whole list of issues that impact the average citizen. And how can we work together, of course, to impact that collectively? Another small example of how we got to build relationships with people, and that is so critical. I shared with them that, the time I spent as a county commissioner, especially because I was the first elected Muslim on a countywide position in the history of North Carolina in this county, I had to really establish close relationships with people to get anything passed. There was only 7 of us on the commissioner's board. I needed 4 to pass anything. So I intentionally tried to work with these people to see what their concerns were. And we got them to do some things that I had put on the table to be done. Small example, sharing those dollars that came from the American Rescue Plan during the previous administration based on the disruption from the COVID situation. So those American Rescue Plan dollars were sent down from the federal government on 3 levels for the very first time. Usually the money goes to the states, and the state decide how much you're going to get in your county. But this time, the money went to the state. Yes, they got their share. Money went straight from the federal government into the counties. They got their share. And then the money went straight to the school system. Straight from the federal government, they got their share. But if you didn't have a policy in place, when that money rolled in, the money went to the same old goody network system, as I call it, good boy network system, and the working people never saw a dime of it. So as the county commissioner, I said, listen, we're going to have a policy that 80% of all these dollars go into what's called marginalized communities. What did it mean, basically? poor people who were poor before COVID, during COVID, and after COVID, with very little material resources. But no dollars would be spent in any community unless they qualified first for that. And it was not easy. We had, with a 5-2 vote. But we did pass that as a policy to govern how we allocated those funds. How do we do that? It was through building strong relationships with people to get them to see the benefit of what we're trying to pass. So when you sit down with your strategic partners that you're going to have to build relationships with, give them a chance to share their vision. You share your vision, and hopefully you can come up with a collective vision that we can all work toward. And it can happen that way. I work with another group called the Piedmont Tribe Regional Council. It's 11 counties in that organization. 11 counties, a regional group. Some communities call them COGS. But the idea is that one government body gets federal dollars. Now imagine this, you have 11 counties struggling to try to prove that they need the money more than you do. What's the first impulse? All those big counties, all those people, they always get the money. And the small counties say, it's time for us to get our share of the dollars. And that's the technical line of contention always, because everyone wants to share federal dollars. So we have to debate the issues, put a priority list together, what's most important for the growth of the whole region, that we can all agree upon. And it's not an easy thing to do. It takes time to listen, discuss, present your presentation, debate it, defend it, discuss, come back again the next week, continue the conversation. And in time, you can get some kind of agreement. Prime example, we have a weatherization program with about $7 million in it. What does that mean? Someone will come into your house and audit the weatherization status of your home. If you need window replacements, any kind of situation might improve the heating bill in your home, other than replacing the roof. The specs won't allow us to replace roofs, but anything else that you need to weatherize your home, you can have access to. If you don't make any more than, I think the cutoff was $38,000. It's basically money that you can access. So my position was, let's make sure that this information is spread throughout all 11 counties so we can all have access to it. And the first round of inquiries came from Guilford County, the largest county in the area. That's where Greensboro, North Carolina is located at. And so we said, we got to make sure that every county has some access as well, even the smaller counties. And so we came up with a little formula of how much we would be given to Guilford, Forsyth, Davie, Randolph, etc., to make it more even distributed. That did take a long time to agree on, but finally we did agree. So our strategy was, let's divide these resources up more equally so that everyone can have access to them, and not just let those who always get money get more money. Now, two small examples. Now, the situation we're in now in terms of community necessities is going to take collective action. Let me say that again. It's going to take collective action. We have to come out of our silos and really work with each other to gain the kind of resources and cooperation that we need to make a difference. We have a situation like most cities of affordable housing, the lack thereof. We had one study done in Winston-Salem alone that said we were about 18,000 units short. That was 5 years ago. And the population has grown since then. And then what happens? The city of Winston-Salem says we have some responsibility for public housing. The county says it's not our responsibility. It's not a part of our statute obligations from our charter. The state says, well, our tax credits are pretty much run out. So how do you break through all of that to get support for your secondary housing? You got to also incorporate the private sector to get things done. We finally got a unit down on what's referred to as the Peters Creek Parkway area. It was an old hotel that became an eyesore in the community. And they needed money to tear down the hotel and to build about 120 units, affordable housing there. And we were struggling trying to get tax dollars to help support the effort there. Eventually that happened. But in the meantime, they needed seed money to at least bring the old, I would say, seedy hotel down that was used for all kind of unimaginable purposes. It became an eyesore, basically. And so they came to the county and asked for $600,000 to assist them in bringing the property down. We went backward and forward. Finally, because of good relationships with each other, We got the county to agree on a 5-2 basis to award them $600,000 to assist in the demolition. Then we got the city to do the same thing. And I had to step down because I was on the board. It's called the Shalom Project. I couldn't allocate money. I couldn't vote because it's a conflict of interest on the project, but I convinced my colleagues to please give it full consideration, and it passed. Now, another example of establishing relationships to get things done that you know will benefit your community or your constituents as well. Small examples, but very important examples of how we need to work collectively together and to form those long-lasting relationships with other groups that are like-minded in their purpose to really represent the community. Small examples, but very important ones. And there's no one strategy. We have to realize that. You have multiple strategies sometimes to get specific things done. And you test that strategy once you've implemented it. You evaluate it, see where you made your shortcomings, where you progress at. You go back in and say, all right, let's regroup. How are we going to organize the next effort? What will be our strategy? What will we do to implement it, and how are we going to evaluate it? Sort of keep that in the back of your mind as you form your relationship with your groups, and it has a lot of benefit. We have a very strong relationship now with a group called North Carolina Democracy, with Dr. Barber's group, Poor People's Campaign, Repairs of the Breach, Dr. Barbara Skinner. It's entitled Faith Leaders to Save Democracy. It's a national organization. Does a lot of good work on Election Day. The Indivisible, another group that's very popular and doing, work like this, et cetera. And so also to come together, they call it networking together for common cause, to come up with a strategy that will at least address some of our common issues and maximize our impact on the local political structures here. Just small examples of how we need to strategize, how we need to come up with solutions. And I'll conclude this part, with this statement. My hope is that Imam Wahid, Nasif Majid, Jimmy Salam, and who else was invited today? I think
Was Brother Shabazz?
yes. Thank you very much. We're all invited. Now, when we went to Washington, D.C., some of you know that I work also with the United States Council of Muslim Organizations, and we had 3 issues we wanted to have them to address, 3 specific issues. And the way that's organized, they elect what they call captains of each state to sort of train your delegation from your state, and you go speak to those senators from your state and your congresspeople from those states, and you present them our solutions and concerns for those issues we're concerned about. And I'll always remember that I used a model for all the presentations. I said, listen, y'all, follow my lead. They've asked me to train you, so I'm going to do my best to do so. So when you appeal to people like this, you don't go in with a hammer because you'll destroy the long-term relationship. You go in with the best argument to get things done on the long term. So I said, I'm going to give you a little visual. Use this if you feel comfortable using it. We talked about human rights. We've talked about God. These are things we decided upon before we ever went in. We talked about recognizing Muhammad Ali and his contributions, etc. When you talk about Gaza, make it very human. I said, use this metaphor if you feel comfortable with it. Put yourself in this position. When you hear babies crying and you see babies dying, you hear mothers crying and you hear mothers dying, you see fathers praying and burying their young children over and over again. How do you feel? And if you feel anything, please consider this specific resolution that we're presenting to you to make an impact on that event, which is really a human rights violation beyond our imagination, because we're not living under that situation. But I hope you can imagine the suffering that people are going through. Just use that as your visual. Hopefully it'll give you some kind of impetus in your presentation. And we had 2 to respond. They said they would indeed sign off on our resolution. That's 2 out of 13, but at least we got 2. So I said alhamdulillah for that kind of movement. Again, brothers and sisters, just the idea that we want to think through strategies, think through solutions. And usually when you talk to elected officials, they want to see the solutions you come up with along with your concern. And that's a strategy we want to always implement whenever you can, in your group. We're going to pause now to see if we have any hands raised from the invited guests. If not, we have phase 2 to go into.
No hands.
Do you see any hands? Okay.
Yes.
Hands.
I heard a yes.
Okay,
Oh,
Muhammad.
yes. It's Muhammad Sharif. You know,
Alhamdulillah.
but imagine. My imagine is that if the groups came together, like Imam Deputy Muhammad 50 in Philadelphia, and the Moscow Convention that we just had this past weekend, and the Detroit National Convention. If those three groups would come together in the year 2030, imagine what that would be like.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Amatullah Alaji-Sabrie.
Okay.
Amatullah Alaji-Sabrie has her hand up.
Okay. Sister Ronnie?
Yes. I really like what the brother just said, though. I was going to ask a different question, but if he has any specific suggestions on how to facilitate that, I would be very interested in hearing that. But I don't want to get off this particular subject. But yes, that's I think that's something we could look forward to. My question just had to do, Brother Fleming, with your recognition there in for Mosqueras. I would just like to hear a few more sentences regarding that, if you don't mind.
How many sentences? 1 or 2? 3 or 4? I'm just messing with you, Amatullah. No, I'm honored to just comment on it. They have a process they use every year to recognize youth, young adults, young man of the year, man of the year, sister of the year, young sister of the year, etc. And I think there's a process to use in the planning committee to identify those persons across the country, and then they do a collective vote. I understand. And they, of course, ask you to submit a biography, very short resume of some sort. And someone in the group went back and Googled me up and said, "This brother got too much to read on his." I said, "Don't read all this stuff. Just highlight this stuff, that's most important." But it was well received, brother. The leader of Mosqueras, of course, Imam Warthaday Muhammad II. He said that he remembers whenever I come around him, he feels very secure because he knew how much I love his father. And he feels that same love for me when I am around him. And I said, well, I was in Ghana one time. We had you on AM360. Very hard to hear you, but that's when we were on blog radio. But eventually, in the near future, we'll have you on again, as well as Brother Imam Adel, who works with him as part of his administration. But the energy was somewhat, very, very high. And I was just, just inspired by the way people responded with the Q&A to the presentation we did, entitled Striving in 25 and Beyond, Know Your Constitution. And the Constitution part was really responding to well because a lot of people don't know the history of how that whole element gets started, and they don't link it into the Medina Charter and all of it goes along with that. So that was the presentation. And of course, on Sunday, they made the recognition. It just so happened I was at the conference I referred to earlier during that time, so I had to leave the DIOS to accept the reward, the Nigerian Association program. It just so happened to be at the same time they were giving up the award. So I left it. Told my wife just give me a signal, and I will leave the DIOS and come back and, continue after the awards program was over. But it was an honor, Sister Amatullah. Beyond my imagination, I had no idea that was going to happen, and I just thank Allah for the recognition from the believers. That was 3 or 4 questions. 3 or 4 sentences, I think. Is that enough?
Fleming 5.